This is the SOG Navy SEAL Team Elite SE37N. I absolutely love this knife, even after all the abuse I've put it through. The one bad thing I have to say about it is that the edge, the angle actually gets, the angle of the edge gets significantly more obtuse as it goes up the blade. So it's really acute angle down here, and then suddenly it starts to get really dull. I don't know if that's just a manufacturing error or something like that, but the tip up here is a lot harder to sharpen up than it is down here on this part of the blade. That's really the only bad thing I have to say about this knife. The serrations, I have used the serrations far more than any other area on the blade, and yet they're still the sharpest part of the blade. And that alone is why I prefer serrations over a plain edge. Because serrations, for one, they stay sharp longer. For two, they are more aggressive with cutting through materials. You can use them for meat, for skinning something, for really anything. I recently went on a missions trip to Oklahoma for tornado relief, and I noticed that I had this blade, and then I had a plain edge on me, and throughout the day when I was using the plain edge, I noticed how useless it is compared to these serrations. I remember one instance we were taking up carpet, and carpet is obviously very strong, and when I was using the plain edge, it was like you could saw away it, you could rip it, it just you can't get through that carpet. And then I just like throw that away. I take out my serrated edge, and it just saws through it like butter. It's so much more useful, and it's a much more versatile blade, especially because it has a significant amount of both edge types. And in terms of synthetic materials, or straps or cord, rope, vines, plastic tubing. I remember one time I was cutting open crates or like bundles of insulation, and they were bound by these big plastic straps, and my friend had a plain edge on him, and he was just sawing away. He couldn't get through these straps. It was not doing anything. And then I take out my serrated edge, and it goes through it instantly. It's like serrations are just so much more practical, and that's why I love this knife, because this has a whole 1.5 inches of just straight serrations, and they're just razor sharp teeth. So this is probably the most effective blade that I have, like the most versatile, because it's just long enough that you can do a lot of bushcraft tasks like batoning, splitting, chopping, stuff like that. But it's just short enough that you can still do things like whittling, whereas you can't really do that with a Khukuri. The blade handle, what I like about this over like a rubberized grip is that this is very tough, and it's like rock hard. So yes, it doesn't grip the hand as nicely, but it is much tougher, it's more durable, and I would trust this solid Zytel handle far more than I would trust I don't know, a G10 or something like that, like a Spyderco or a Benchmade. So yeah, this was $92. Another thing is, after a lot of use, you can see that the Ti-Ni or titanium nitride coating it has right here on the thickest part of the blade is actually rubbed off a little bit, not all the way. But that just goes to show that if you use this knife for like 10-20 years, this coating isn't going to last. And AUS 8, I've heard different things about its rust resilience. Some people say it's stainless, some people say it rusts like crazy. I frankly don't know what to believe, but I really don't need to worry about it because I'm at a higher altitude. But just for you guys who are, you know, at lower altitudes, you should probably know that. The rasping on the back, I've used this a heck of a lot, and it's still very, very sharp, very strong. The blade itself is 0.24 inches thick and it's 7 inches long, so it's very, very strong. I've used this as like a pry bar even, and like when I was like doing demolition on houses in Oklahoma, I could use this as like a crowbar, and it wouldn't break. It was just, it's so invincible. This is like a tank of a fixed blade. Made in Taiwan, has a full tang all the way through. You can see that comes out right here. I don't really like this because you can't really use it as a hammer, and you can't really use it as a window breaker because it's flat. You kind of need a point for a window breaker. And you can't use it as a hammer because it's this like flat piece that comes out, and then there's a second level, so you just end up destroying the Zytel if you try to use it on nails and stuff. So I don't really like that, but I don't mind. This is a knife, not a hammer. So yeah, this is, I'm gonna say this is my favorite fixed blade that I've ever owned. It's the sheath design. I don't know if you can see it very well, but when you put it on your belt, the handle sticks out enough that like you can just, like with your hand like dangling down, if you ever need it, you just bring your hand up and it comes right out. Your hand naturally grips the knife, and it's so easy to access it when you need it. Like this on your belt is far faster than any automatic, assisted, manual folding blade you'll ever find. It's right there. It's just your hand is right on it whenever you need it. And I found that to be so much faster than any fixed blade, no matter how fast you get it. Because you always have to reach into your pocket or pocket clip. Even if you already have it in your hand, you still have to flip it open. Whereas this, it's already there. So this is the fastest, strongest, best aesthetic knife that I have. Also, this is a friction sheath, so there's no like play on it when it's in the sheath. It's very tight. But I've noticed that over time the kydex insert here has actually sunken down slightly. I don't really mind though because it doesn't make a difference in the functionality of the sheath. It's sunken down slightly so that this like lip comes up a little bit, and also it's not as tight of a fit anymore. But something I've noticed that you can do, it seems kind of redneck and cheap, but if you take just an ordinary big office binder clip, or two of them if you need to, what I've done is you can just put this right there, take these things out, and then that squeezes this kydex insert to like an hourglass shape, so that you can have a very tight friction sheath, and it's like you have to put some little effort in to get it out. Like, so it's an option if you need it. What I've done before is I just get two of these binder clips, put them right here, take some duct tape or a Velcro strap, just like wrap it together and keeps it on, and without any like Velcro or snap or anything, just from the friction sheath, I've had this upside down on a backpack strap, and just so that I can reach up right on my backpack strap and just pull it down, and it's right there for me. That's probably the fastest draw I've ever seen, and it's just incredibly useful to have a friction sheath like that with you don't have to fumble around with any snaps or Velcro or devices that keep it in place. Just you have to pull. That's all you have to do. So I absolutely love this sheath. It's extremely versatile, and if you ever need to take these off quick, just pull. You don't have to mess around with these things. And another thing I don't like about the sheath is that it has Velcro on this pouch. I am not a fan of Velcro because it is temporary. it's disposable. Like if you look at Velcro that's like 10 years old, it's ripped up and it doesn't lash anymore. It's like that. It doesn't stick. And it's cheap. Like I've noticed that this pouch right here has become significantly weaker just because it's made of Velcro. So I don't like their decision to use Velcro with that, but I just don't use the pouch. I definitely prefer something like a snap here, because a snap will last you as long as you live. So there you go. That is the SOG Navy SEAL Team Elite SE 37N. On to the next knife.